Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video for Wuthering Waves. My name is Ventus, and what's good with you? Alright, so this is going to be Wuthering Waves PC gameplay that you're looking at. So, when thinking about how to make this video, a 10 to 15 minute video of what people want to see, I know what I would want to click on, so I'm going to structure this video with a couple of different categories. The first one's going to be problems in the game at launch, what's going on with the game right now, what's good, what's bad, what combat is like. I'm going to talk about the characters, which one's good, which one's bad, what the main character is, stuff like that. And then I'm going to talk about, is the game better than Tower of Fantasy and Genshin Impact in terms of gameplay, in terms of characters. So that's what you signed up for, that's what you're going to hear in this video. And again, I've only played the game for a handful of hours so far. I've spent about maybe $80 on the game to get one character that looks really cool, just so I can experience that character and tell you a little bit about it. And that's probably all that I'm going to spend on this game. Alright, so listen, if you're new here, please drop a sub to the channel and turn notifications on if you like this game and you like this gameplay. And if you do like this game and gameplay, hit the like button. Let's try to get this video to like 30 likes. 30 likes would be awesome. That means you guys are really interested in this game and I can post more gameplay videos about it. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about the problems in the game. Now, when I first started the game, the first issue for me was probably that I had to use a keyboard. And the keyboard, because I really don't use keyboards a whole lot for like gaming. I'm a console gamer. I play primarily on a PS5, and from what I've read, there's no PS5 controller support yet in the game, so I can't plug my PS5 controller in, and I don't have like a PC controller or anything like that. So I have to use the keyboard, and the keyboard is a little bit difficult to maneuver. It's a little bit difficult to get around, especially for a game like this. This is why I really didn't want to play this game, because I didn't have a controller. Like, the only reason I played Tower of Fantasy on PC is because I had to go out and buy a controller, because like, it's just difficult to fight and move in a game like this. Like, after playing Genshin Impact for so many years, it's like, I'm so used to a controller playing a game like that. So, I don't know. That's the most difficult thing for me. That's one of the biggest problems for me. But that's something that can be overcome because the game is meant right now to be played on a keyboard. So, they made it a little bit easier. The keyboard controls still getting used to it, but I'm getting used to it. The next biggest problem, and I think this is huge for everybody because I've searched this problem and how to fix it, and everybody is talking about it, and that is going to be the ping. That is probably going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people. It is a huge problem for content creation. I have a $2,000 PC. It's not a bad PC. It's not the best PC, but I have a $2,000 PC, and it can run games. Like, it can. I only use it to make YouTube videos, but it's a gaming PC. So when playing this game, I experience really high ping. I got Spectrum Internet. I pay for their highest internet package. I've got like 1,000 download, and I think they only give me like 40 upload, and I've been getting pretty much those speeds. And I get ping. Every so often, it'll spike up. Like, my ping will be sitting at a nice, comfortable 80, and then just out of the blue, it'll go all the way up to 280, and the game will lag. But it only lasts for like 3 seconds, and then it'll go back to normal. And that is extremely annoying when you're trying to get content, when you're trying to play the game, and especially when you're like in the middle of a fight. Like, that just, it's a deal breaker. It really is. So that's like, those are the only two things that, for me, are the biggest problems in the game. And honestly, the keyboard thing, you can get over that. But the ping problem, they need to update some sort of patch, because if Genshin Impact can run smoothly, if Tower of Fantasy can run smoothly, this game also needs to run smoothly. And if it's not doing that, then there's no reason for anybody to be playing this game. Next, let's talk about what combat is like. Okay, so far with the characters that I've seen, they only have a couple of different weapons that they use, and they're probably going to come up with more. And I know there are probably some characters that I haven't gotten yet, but I do have a large number of characters, and I'm probably going to make a small short video or just a regular video showing you what the characters I have, so and what they do, like their weapon types. So definitely be on the lookout for that, especially if this video gets 30 likes. I'll go ahead and put that video out there ASAP. So characters fight with swords, they fight with guns. I think there's one character that has a sword that he also fights with a spear. They fight with martial arts, and then there's one character that I got that fights with something called a rectifier, which so far I've only seen that one character that uses it, and basically it's like a stand that fights at melee range to your enemies, but your character is like at a range back away from them. So it's almost like puppets from Naruto. I don't really like that character that much because, you know, they just sort of sit back and spam whatever like that, but it is still a really cool character for sure. There are 6 element types in this game: Spectro, Electro, Glacio, Aero, Havoc, and Fusion. So Spectro and Havoc. Spectro is like a light-based element, and Havoc is the dark-based element. Electro obviously is electricity, Glacio is ice, Aero is air, and Fusion is going to be the fire. There are no elemental reactions in this game like Genshin Impact so far, and the element types, it seems like they're just there to support fighting enemies that are weak to that element. So you fight an ice creature, you're going to use a fire to defeat him a little bit quicker. You fight a dark creature or a havoc creature, you're going to use Spectro to destroy him. And so far, I've only seen one character that has Spectro, and that's the main character. Each character has something called an intro skill. And you know how in Genshin Impact, whenever you switch to a character that has an ultimate attack, they switch to the character and they do their ult. Well, they don't have ultimates that they switch to. I mean, you have ultimates that you can do whenever you want, but when you switch to a character, they have a skill that they just do. Some of these intro skills, I want to tell you a little bit about that. Some of these intro skills, they heal. Some intro skills do deal damage, and some intro skills do buffs. You just have to look at the character and decide which character you want to use them for whatever reason. There's only teams of 3 that you can use. I know, like Genshin Impact, you have like a team of 4, and I think Tower Fantasy, it's like you get 3. Yeah, you get 3 in Tower Fantasy. So the same thing here. You get teams of 3. Your characters actually switch on the field, so you don't use just one character in one like avatar. If you switch to another character, you're going to see that character on the field, and that character only uses the one weapon. So if you want to use a character with guns, you're going to switch to a character that's using guns. If you want to use a character that has a heavier sword, switch to that character. And by the way, so far these swords, they're using katanas. I mean, for all intents and purposes, a lot of the characters are just using katanas, and then some characters use a stronger or a bigger looking katana that is essentially like a great sword, but it's still literally a katana. Let's see. So characters have normal skills, and they have ultimate skills. The normal skills are called resonance skills, and then the ultimate skills are called resonance liberation, I guess. And if I'm saying this wrong, I'm super sorry. Like I said, I'm super new to the game. I've only played it for a couple of hours. But they do their normal skills. They have cooldown, and the skills, they do a wide variety of things. Some people have healing skills, some people have buff skills, and a lot of them just have damaging skills. I've got a lot of 4-star characters. I think I got like only 3 5-star characters, and I'll talk to you a little bit about those in just a second. And those resonance liberations are the ultimate skills. You have to charge those up, and they come and they do something really, really cool that either helps or hurts the enemies. Helps your team or hurts the enemies that you're fighting. So yeah, there's that. And then about the main character. Alright, so the main character, he doesn't look that great. He looks pretty plain. Kind of like Aether from Genshin Impact, and then I don't think we get like you get to your own CAC in Tower of Fantasy. So you just have a basic main character. He has a katana, and he's okay. He looks okay. He just looks plain. Obviously, they want to save the cooler designs for your characters that you have to spend money for, that you have to wish for and whatnot like that. His ability is Spectro. He's the only one so far that I've seen in the game that has Spectro. There could be some other character that I haven't pulled for that has Spectro, but so far he's the only one. His ability, they make a sort of a big deal about his ability when the game first starts. It's like he has the ability to absorb bigger enemies. I think everybody in this world, they have these little gourd things that when they fight, they absorb smaller enemies, and they can use those enemies to fight for them. I haven't really gotten too far into the game, but I think I read somewhere on Reddit that the animals or the creatures that you collect essentially are your armor. They're your artifacts. And the stronger ones you collect, the better your armor, your artifacts are going to be. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I'm still learning the game. But I think that's a really unique thing for the game, because I've never seen anything like this. You can fight a creature, and then you can absorb that creature, and then you can put it on your sort of, I don't know what they actually call it, but like a creature list, and you can press a button on the keyboard, and that creature will appear on the map temporarily and do something. Some creatures will stay out a little bit longer. Some creatures will stay a little bit shorter. And they do certain things, their abilities or whatnot, and I think that's actually really, really cool. That's one of the selling points of the game. Actually, if I was telling somebody about this game, that's one of the things I would be like, yeah, this is cool. This is something that's not being done on Tower of Fantasy and Genshin. They are actually allowing you to absorb creatures, and then you could throw them out there like Pokemon. They're only there for like a few minutes, a few seconds rather, and they do their thing and they dip. So I think that's pretty cool. So we already talked about the teams of 3. So the best characters so far. Now I have like maybe 12 or 13 characters, and I've only like played with them for a little bit. But so far the characters that I like the most are actually obviously the one called Calcharo or Calcaro. I can't think of his name. Electro character, looks cool as hell, deals crazy amounts of electro damage. I really like this character. I actually spent the money to get him as my guaranteed 5-star, because once you do the little wish thing, you can make it to where you have a choice of which 5-star you want, and if you get to the 80 pulls or whatever like that, you're guaranteed to get that character. So that's who I pulled for, and that's who I wanted. I thought he looked really cool. Next is going to be Jiyan. I think that's how you say his name. He is the event character right now. Kind of reminds me a little of Zhao from Genshin Impact. He looks like he fights with a spear. Also looks like he fights with a giant sword. He has a sword on his back, but when you fight with him, it looks like he's just holding like a spear made of light. He's got some really, really freaking cool attacks. Like, honestly, I think his attacks look a lot cooler than Calcharo's attacks, and he does crazy amounts of damage. Next is Bai Zhao or Bai Zhou. I can't like actually pronounce the name properly. I've only heard a couple times in game, but she's a healer. She's the one that I think she uses the rectifier thing. She heals your team, so that's really, really cool. You need like a healer. She's the only healer that I got. Look through all my characters, and I think I only have one other character that gives healing back, but that character is not exactly a healer. It's Tao Chi, and that's the other character that I was going to tell you about. Tao Chi, I think, is a 4-star character, and she's like a tank character. She has a heavier katana, like a giant, like great sword katana, kind of like Calcharo. She moves a little bit slower, but she provides shields. I think of her like I think of I can't think of Buddy's name with the Geo in Genshin Impact. He's the one that I always use for shields that kind of made you invincible. I can't think of his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about. I haven't used her that much, but reading her stuff, she gives your team shields, and she does a little bit of healing back when she pops those shields for your team. All right, and then finally, the last thing, is it better than Tower of Fantasy and Genshin Impact in terms of gameplay, in terms of characters? Well, obviously, Genshin Impact is, for me, at the top. And it's only at the top because of all the polish on the game. Genshin Impact has a lot of talking crap, and I'm not here to crap on Genshin Impact or talk about how much I hate Genshin Impact, but there's just a lot of things that are annoying about Genshin Impact. But when it comes to like games of this genre, I think of Genshin Impact literally being at the top because of how polished it is, how finished it is, how like they have everything figured out in Genshin Impact, and it's a specific way, and I think that sort of sets the bar for other games like this. So, in terms of characters, in terms of gameplay, I have a problem with Genshin Impact because they have just a lot of female characters and not a whole lot of male characters that are really cool. They have some. Tower of Fantasy is worse with it. You have like maybe 2-3 male characters in Genshin Impact, and whenever I play these games, I'm not trying to play hentai simulator. I want to play an action adventure sort of anime game that looks really cool. I don't know if you're like that. You might not. You might want to play hentai simulator. But if you're not, playing hentai simulator, this is a really good game. They've got a nice mix of male characters. Obviously, there are going to be more female characters than male characters because female characters, they sell the game. So there are a number of female characters, and they look pretty cool. Big-breasted female characters that jiggle a lot. That's, cool. But I still think in terms of characters, they definitely beat Tower of Fantasy. Looks, the way they look and stuff like that. I don't know if they really beat Genshin Impact though. I think they're probably as good as Genshin Impact. When it comes to the like combat, animations and stuff like that, they're all pretty much the same. However, I think because of elemental reactions and the ability to do crazy damage stuff like that, Genshin Impact is probably going to be better in terms of, combat gameplay. Tower of Fantasy, I think the game's okay, but I just believe that this game has Tower of Fantasy beat. So when it comes to lining them up, it goes Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, and then Tower of Fantasy, if that puts anything into perspective. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to give you this quick, and I know it's not as quick as I wanted it to be. We're at 14 minutes, maybe 13 minutes. So let me know what you think about this game down in the comments. Is it something that you're going to play, or are you waiting for the port to PS5? Honestly, I thought it was going to be on PlayStation, because when I looked on Twitter, it said something like it's going to be released on all platforms. So I instantly went to PlayStation to see if it was released. Wasn't on PlayStation, so I was like, okay, so it's only PC. I'll check it out, see what it's like. Honestly, it's not that bad of a game, all right? It's not that bad of a game. The dialogue you can press F and you can skip it. Not skip it, but you can like F and make it go by super quick, and there's nothing like Genshin Impact. So if you like me, you don't want to sit there and listen to a lot of dialogue, and there is a lot of dialogue. A lot of people will say, a lot of people things that I've read people say, there's like a lot of information dumping in the very beginning, which there is a lot of information dumping. Me, personally, I didn't hear it, I didn't read it, all I wanted to do was get to the combat, and there's a lot of good combat. The only thing that sucks though is when you're out in the open world, the lag spikes. The lag spikes just it's awful. It's awful. That's what it is. So that's my take on the game. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.